My name is Lee. My husband's name is Larry. He'll be my lovely assistant today. We brought some of our animal friends for you to see. We have a farm in Conley, Massachusetts. Is that going to mess you up?
No, you're fine.
No, okay. Conley, Massachusetts is the central part of the state, just south of Worcester. And we have about 90 animals that live on our farm. We didn't bring them all today. We just brought some of them for you guys to see up close and to learn a little bit about. Now, whenever I go to schools, I like to talk about how people keep animals as pets. It's a lot of fun to have a pet, and it's sometimes usually kids' first connection to an animal. Their first learning about an animal. If you have a pet, you're like the animal's parent, and so you are responsible for taking care of it. A lot of adults don't even realize these things. Now, before you get any kind of animal as a pet, you should think about a few things. First of all, what kind of animal do I really want? You want an animal that you can keep its whole life. Not just something for today or tomorrow or for a year. Something you can keep for its whole life. You also want to know how to take care of that animal. Different kinds of animals need different kinds of care. And the most important thing to always think about is, will this be a good home for this animal? Will this animal be happy living here? If you live in an apartment, a horse would be a good idea. But there are a lot of other pets that could happily live in an apartment. So we'll try to remember to point out animals that would be good pets. They would be good pets. Now we'll have, and also, you will see me up here with wild animals. That doesn't mean that a wild animal is a good choice for a pet. Most of the time they get to be big or too big. However, there are some that didn't work out the right way. So we'll try to point that out. Now we will have birds, we'll have mammals and reptiles. Of course, birds all have feathers on their body. Even birds that don't fly, like penguins and ostriches, which swim and run, but they don't fly. Mammals, well, we're mammals. Mammals all have hair or fur. And even the world's largest mammal, which is a blue whale, has some hair. And like other mammals, its baby would drink milk from its mother. It's young. Matter of fact, the baby whale is called a calf, just like a cow. And reptiles have scales on their body, so you will be able to tell what they are. Now, one of the sort of beautifying things of the show is I talk about the animal's adaptations, how the animal has adapted or changed over time, thousands and thousands of years, a little bit at a time. They're changing so they can better survive in their environment. So I will point out the animal's adaptations. Those are like a grass and long neck. So it can reach the leaves at the top of the trees that no one else can reach. Perfect. That is an adaptation. A tiger with stripes, so it will blend into the long grass. Things like that. All right. The first animal we have is a reptile. Probably weighs 70 pounds. So it's hard for me. But he's not a small tortoise. And while it wasn't as impressive, it was good in a way because I could walk around. This fellow's name is Moses. He is Moses is a sulcata tortoise. They would come from Africa just south of the Sahara Desert. Now, he, of course, is a tortoise, not a turtle. Both tortoises and turtles have shells, but the main difference is tortoises walk on land and turtles swim in the water. Actually, a true turtle is a sea turtle, and what you guys think of as turtles around here are called terrapins. Like you see the animal law. Now, this guy, couldn't swim at all. He moves around on land. He's just too heavy. He is built for land, not built for water at all. But he does have this great shell to protect him from his enemies. He is not a fast runner, he is not a climber, he is not a good fighter, so he has to have a way of protecting himself. That's his form of defense, would be this shell. And he would pull his head in and pull his spiky wood from his face, and that would protect him from most animals that were trying to eat them. Now, how about the biggest danger to these tortoises would be people, because people have tools. So people could get into a tortoise shell. And as a matter of fact, way back in time, some of the ships that they would travel around the world, they would get big tortoises and they would keep them on the ship as live meat. And the tortoise would stay alive until the sailors needed meat, and then they would have it there. So we have a lot better now, right? Yes, thank goodness. Now, he is an herbivore, an animal that just eats plants. Being from just near the desert, he would eat very dried up food. He would eat grasses, cacti, and thorny bushes. And we feed him grass, hay, and different kinds of weeds that grow on my lawn, like clover and dandelion weeds. And he eats some fruits and vegetables. Now, he is not full grown yet. You can see how big he is, and he can get to be about a foot longer. He is in his 20s, maybe near 30 years old. He could get a foot longer than he is right now, but I don't think I'll be able to pick him up when he's that size. This is the third largest type of tortoise in the world. Now, the largest tortoises are the Alligators and Galapagos tortoises, and they're almost as big as this table, and they would take about 6 or 8 people to pick up. Now, a tortoise is a kind of wild animal that can make a really nice pet. He's very friendly. He's not going to try to bite you like a snapping turtle. It's easy to get his food. It's just stuff that grows right in your yard, or grass and hay, some fruits and vegetables. But there are things they just get to be too big for most people to keep. He takes up a whole room in our house in the wintertime because he needs to stay warm. And they live a long time. So that's something to think about with any pet. How long is it going to live? They could live to be about 80 years old. So if you've got a tortoise now like this, you end up with your grandkids. And then maybe their grandkids. And the oldest tortoise in the world just turned 200 years old. That's a species, so they can live longer. So that tortoise hatched out of the egg about the time that Abraham Lincoln was a youngster. So that's something always to keep in mind, is how long your pet is going to live. Anyone have a question about the sulcata tortoise? Something you'd like to know about the animal that I didn't tell you? Yeah.
Inside the shell.
Is it what?
Is it exposed inside the shell?
Are they exposed inside the shell?
Like he said.
I guess I don't quite understand. Their shell is part of their body. So unlike in cartoons where the tortoise can jump out of its shell and run around and then jump back into the shell, or like a hermit crab where it gets out of the shell and back again, the shell grows with it. It's part of their skeleton. So I think that's a good question. Yeah. One more question. Will the shell be able to break? Yes. And there are some veterinarians that will repair. Sometimes there's tortoises that have been hit by a car. Most of the time they would be able to save, but sometimes they can by using fiberglass, like repair other things. They can repair. Yes, but that would be a very dramatic for tortoise. I'm going to grab step right off of it.
same thing. But alpacas grow their hair from wool, and we call it fiber, very, very long. Now, these are domesticated animals that have lived with people for a long, long time. There are no wild llamas, there are no wild alpacas. They have relatives or cousins that are called guanacos. And guanacos are the color of a deer, light brown with gray face and a white belly. So they kind of blend into the surroundings. But these guys don't have to hide because there are people who take care of them. There's any ones that are out wild and loose. There are ones that can be like loose like people. Now, as I said, this hair or wool we use, and with the alpaca, we have to shear them. We have to give them a haircut. Now, with a llama, you only have to brush them to get the wool out. But these guys, you use shears and shear them. And if you don't take it off of them, the wool is very bad for them. A llama's hair only gets so long, but an alpaca's hair will grow all the way to the ground and interfere with it working, with them walking. So that is very difficult and it's a bad situation for them. Just like something like sheep or that way, the wool just grows and grows because they're so domesticated. So once or twice a year, we give them a haircut. Now, llamas are also helpful to people that they can do work for you like carrying things on the back, their back. Not so much the alpacas. The alpacas are a little smaller than the llama. An adult llama would stand about this tall. And Rosie's very tall for an alpaca. Alpacas usually need to be about this tall. Now, when people go to the civilian pet llamas and alpacas, they let you feed them. Now, when you feed them, you hold the food out and fly in the hand. They can't bite you. Llamas, alpacas, goats and sheep and cows and deer, any animal you would see in a petting zoo has no top teeth. No one took their teeth away, they're born that way. That's so they can graze or eat grass off the ground. They just scrape it. They pull it out and the bottom teeth, but in the back of the mouth, they have big grinding teeth to grind their food that they want to eat. Now, if you go to the zoo, you don't want to teach one of these guys. What are they doing in the mouth? Spit at it. But when they spit, they don't spit saliva or spit like we have in our mouths. What they spit is the contents of their stomach. They throw up food before it's digestible, and then they'll spit at it. Now, it doesn't smell good at all. So it's a good idea not to tease these guys. Rosie, they're about 18 or 19 years old. They live up in their 20s. Okay, does anyone have a question about the alpaca? All these world records and everything, I don't know what the biggest alpaca is. But it's very unusual to see one that's tall and she is. Yes. Have I ever been bit by the side teeth? Yes, in addition to black teeth, the males have big fangs in the back. They can fight. They did it all right, I suppose, beyond spitting, the males fight with each other. But no, I've never been bitten by those ones in the back. Not really one. Camels have the same thing. No top teeth, but they're kind of like fangs in the back. Yes. What's the difference between a llama and alpaca? Basically the same. Llama alpacas are shorter. They've been bred to produce wool. And just like our German shepherds, Chihuahuas, Dalmatians, poodles, they all look different. Those are people that live with the animals that live with us for thousands of years. By putting certain ones together, you get different traits. Well, it's the same with the llama and the alpacas. One way to tell if it's domesticated is that it comes spotted in all different colors. These guys are black, brown, spotted, even certain colors, back. So that's a way to tell it's domesticated animal. Okay. Okay, we'll put her back
Usually alpacas have a lot of hair on top of them, like they have a big mom, and that's one way you know. And llamas that have short hair. And llamas also have ears that look like the shape of a banana, whereas alpacas have pointy ears. He is like Larry said, she is a very tall alpaca. We have one that's very tall and very small. Her friend alpaca is big. So that's a little fun. All right. Now, very different. Alligator. You might guess crocodile. Those are pretty close. Those are both crocodilian family members. The main way you can tell the difference is alligators have a wider snout, whereas crocodiles have more narrow. Now this is just a little youngster. He's a little over a year old, so he's only about 1.5 feet long. But alligators can get to be about 15 feet long and weigh more than a good-sized horse. Some alligators weigh almost 1,000 pounds. And we've got 3 of these little guys. This is Nipper. This is Chopper. This one is Bob. Now, these animals have this camouflage, black, yellow spots and lines. I really like it. These little guys like this, not only are they easy to handle, but they've got this pretty coloration. This is their camouflage. Camouflage, of course, is coloring that helps blend in and hide. And these lines and the color would kind of blend into the shadows in the long grass by the water's edge. Now they lose this coloration as they grow up. This fades away, much like the spots on a fawn or a baby deer. And people don't realize there are animals that have camouflage that disappears. A lion cub has faint spots that help it hide in the grass, break up the shape of its body, and that disappears as well. So those would be more of a uniform color as they grow up. Now another way they hide is by keeping their body under the water, and these eyes and their nose and the nostrils are like bumps on the head, and so they can hide under the water with just these bumps sticking up. So he can still see, he can still breathe, but nobody else can see him. So keep that in mind if you're ever swimming in a swamp in Louisiana. Why would you do that? just don't do that, to be safe. But if you did, one of these guys would be right next to you, keeping an eye on you, and you wouldn't even know that he is there. Now, other adaptations are webbed toes to help them swim, this tail, which is kind of like their propeller that moves them along. Like I said, they get very good size, and that is the perfect reason to not have an alligator as a pet. These 3 guys, 4 months that somebody was selling on the street corner, and people buy them as pets. They think that's cool, and I'll get rid of it when it gets old. They think they can get it to the zoo. Well, zoos only need 1 or 2 alligators, so they're not going to have room for your alligators that get too big for you. And so most of them end up with a bad ending. So it's really not good to get a pet that is dangerously on. Oh yeah, the people were arrested. Yeah, I didn't buy it from the people. People are selling the street corner. The people arrested the gators and taken away and they came with us. I should clarify. All right, anybody have a question about the alligator? Yeah, it's there. How much do they weigh? Well, when they're full grown, very big ones will be over 900 pounds. Right now, they really don't weigh much at all. I'd say maybe 3 pounds. By the way, I tell these three apart. There's one that's smaller, one's medium size, and then one that's bigger is much bigger than the other. Alligators have teeth that stick out of the mouth. Right, that's true, and I don't really know if there's a reason for that. They do use the teeth, so I don't have an answer for that. I'm sorry, but the teeth that they do have are used just for grabbing. So they don't, the teeth that they use like to touch each other to grind, they're just grabbing them. And very often if they see something, they might not just grab it head on, they may something right here, down like that, and grab it by the side. Maybe the teeth sticking out help them to do that. But all their teeth are pretty much the same. They don't have teeth that bite them on, teeth that grind them back. And most of the time you can tell pretty closely what an animal is just by looking at their teeth. Now this guy in the dark, black, yeah.
I started somewhere that when they grab on the arm, they roll over.
If they grab it on, they roll over. Yeah, they call it death roll. And they'll just, it's one way to drown an animal, and it's also really gross. It's a way to rip it apart. Because they don't chew their food. They're not getting out of knife and fork, so they're either swallowing something whole or they're ripping it to pieces. Okay, one more. They can get to be about 15, 16 feet long. That's probably about from here all the way north to the end of the day. All right, so here we go.
Make a whole lot of noise. That's what these guys do. We appreciate this thing. We appreciate it. You just stay quiet when they do that. That'll make them do it. Hey, they are the largest member of the party family. They come from the rainforest of South and Central America.
Yeah, this Oscar is going to go away. She just won't be quiet. Oscar is a military dog named after the green color line of the military. All right, go back up.
The rainforest, they're safe from animals that might so they don't have to blend in and hide. They can be right out. Because it's hard for animals to reach them up in the rainforest group. They have very loud voices. And when they squawk, the other birds hear that. And when they see their own color fly by, they'll join in. And that's how they stay safe. Now they're all blue, all green, red and yellow, red, blue and yellow, all sorts of combinations of these birds, color. And the boys and the girls are the same bright colors, not like the robin or our birds around here. Different types and different colors. Now this guy is a very friendly guy, and they make a good pet, but only for some people. One problem is they have loud voice, and after a while it's going to drive you crazy in your house. Also, you can get a really good friendship or bond with these birds, but they can get to like one person and hate everyone else in the family. Then they'll bite, and they have a very strong beak. It's designed to crack open thick seeds and nuts, even crack open a walnut with a single bite. Has a long point on the end of the beak that they use to dig away at clay in the sides of the cliffs in the rainforest that helps to give them the minerals that they need in their diet. So if they bite you, it could really hurt. Now, as I said, they do get to be your friend, but it's a big responsibility because they can live about as long as the tortoise, about 80 years. So we have them now, you might go to grandchildren. But one reason people like them is because they get to be your friend. They're comfortable around you and they will learn to talk. They can say any word in any language that anyone can say. Now, he won't do what we ask him to. He only does it when he feels like it. If you want to invest the time by giving them a treat, you can get them to say something on command. But we have so many animals who haven't done that individually. So all the words they know, they just picked up by listening. And they like the sound. They're repeating the sound that they like. It entertains them. They're very intelligent. So we think they don't know what they're saying. When we go to the barn in the morning, the birds say hello. Put our coat on at night and say goodbye. I really think they learned some of the meanings of the words. Now, as well as saying words, they can carry a tune. One day we were looking for someone on our farm who was singing somewhere over the radio, and it turned out to be a little gray parrot. People have just difference. We also have a parrot who lives in an office. He does the fax machine, the butler, all the office sounds. He does everybody's cell phone. So we always say, answer that word. And the most important thing is we have to go out of the house when we change the smoke detector here. Because we did that once, we got about 2 weeks of the smoke detector going on from this bird, just simply imitating that sound. Now, people, I always wonder, why do they bother to learn words? These birds have their own language. They talk with each other. The different squawks and mumbles mean different things. The blue ones talk a little differently than the red ones. But when they get integrated in the group, they want to be social, be part of it. So they're with people, they enjoy imitating, and they want to be social with us. So that gives them a little more reason to believe, to want to talk. Does anyone have a question about the talk? How long do they grow? You mean how long they live or how long? From here to here. I don't know, 3 feet probably. The tail feathers fall out and they don't do much all the time. They always shed and get the feathers. Oh yeah, this type, scarlet would always be red with that yellow in the same place and the blue in the same place. A blue and gold macaw would always be blue on the back and the yellow white face and the yellow belly. However, cats, you can get different colors by having them intermingled. And they can come up with orange and all sorts of things. It wasn't originally out. Just way in the back. Yeah.
What's your favorite type of macaw?
What's my favorite type?
Yeah.
Oh, I like them all. I like the birds. I really like intelligent animals. And these guys, they're pretty rough. It's impossible not to talk to them. You know, I defy you don't have to say hello on the line. Something says hello. I just love all of them. Okay, well, go ahead, guys.
You're probably the first person to ever guess that ever. What is an anteater, a weasel, a ground dog, a raccoon? It is a coati, sometimes called a coconut. Coatis are also sometimes called a South American raccoon. And that's because they come from South and Central America, and they are related to raccoons. Now, these animals live in big groups, and that gives them the ability to stay safer because they have a lot of eyes and ears watching for danger. These guys, as they're walking up the little city, guys can look at them close again. This fellow's name is Mardu. Mardu is about 9 years old, and he lives with his girlfriend, whose name is Leo. Well, it was just. Don't ask the basic question. Now, see some animals that just eat meat, like alligators, and they are carnivores. And animals that eat plants, those are herbivores, like the alpaca. What do you call an animal that eats both meat and plants? Omnivore, that's right. Omnivores are animals that eat both meat and vegetation, like bears, raccoons, and like most people. And these creatures will eat all kinds of things. Let me get on a tree right now. That's what it's looking at. One of the foods they like to eat in the wild. Pigs. They would eat birds' eggs. They would eat tortoise eggs as well. Now I usually eat hard-boiled eggs. It's probably better for him. But it's fun to see him eat a raw egg once in a while. He cracks it open with his big teeth and then stuffs it inside. Now, like other animals, his adaptations really help him out in the wild. He's got long claws for digging up things out of the ground, like with grubs and roots. He's got this long naked nose for sniffing into tight places so he can find insects and things he needs under the ground or in hollow logs. And he's got this long tail that he uses some for balancing climbing. It's also a signal to the other bodies. If they're moving along and they're foraging for food, they'll stick that big tail up in the air, and that's kind of like saying, "Here I am," so they can all stay together. There's this long grass comes in bodies. You can see all these tails moving through the grass. And it's kind of like holding up a sign so they can all stay together. Now he's also got these tiny little ears. Because if you're going to spend your life sticking your head in termite mounds or ant hills, you don't want big ears that are going to fill up with pus. So you've got little ears and they're very fuzzy, and that keeps the bugs out. In the wild, they would eat fruits and roots, eggs. They would also eat all different kinds of insects, and some of their favorite foods out in the wild might be your favorites as well, John, are scorpions and tarantulas. So they really do eat a large variety. Now, the same kind of wild animal that actually was a pretty big pet trade. A number of people breed them, breed a lot of them, to sell them as pets. Not so much here in New England, because in New England we have better laws for keeping wild animals as pets. And at one point we were trying to get one to go with the waters we had, and the person that was selling them would only sell them to me declawed. So only if they took the claws out of the fur. I said I belong to declawed. I want them to actually be able to climb, and they use those claws to help them climb. So, but I cannot imagine what I They're very rambunctious. Even though they're not smart and playful, they would be extremely destructive in your house. And if they get upset, could give you horrific fight with their teeth. So, having a quiet pet would be a bad. Yeah, question. Anybody? What part was it again?
What part of South America would they live in?
They would live in South America. They could live in a variety of habitats. A lot of animals. They could live in rainforests. They could live in grasslands and marshlands. So they really could spread out. They could live all the way from South America, rainforests. closest relative would probably be raccoons. They don't look a lot like raccoons. They're close to them. Okay, one more. Another girl. Do they what? Do anything with their tail? They use their tail to balance a little bit climbing, but it's also used as a signal. Now, animals have to be able to communicate with each other, and it's not only by sound, but it can be by how they move their body, and by some animals by their facial expression. So this would tell us one's hiding how they feel by what they're doing with the tail. Not like a dog. A dog, you can tell a dog's mood and add it to the block by its tail. All right, sir. Take it down. So I walk with hair next time. My hair that's on my hands. It's like my hair. So you know, all right. The kawaii is, of course, a mammal that has hair, and this, of course, is a reptile. Like other reptiles, it has scales on its body. The kind of reptile it is a snake, and the kind of snake it is a boa constrictor. This is a spider, grand spider with about 5 feet long, stretched out. Full long, it can be about 10 feet long. And it'd be quite a bit to go around, so they get pretty good size. Now they are called a constrictor because that describes what they use. Their food constrict means to tighten. And there are grouping of snakes called constrictor snakes, and that means that's how they kill their prey, is by squeezing it. They're not particularly fast. You can outrun the fastest snake in the world. If you're walking along, if I went as fast as a snake, they look at all like this. I think people are scared of snakes, so they think they're moving along faster than they are. So he has to kind of wait till prey gets near him, and then he'll wrap his mouth, wrap his body around it, squeeze the animal until it stops breathing and dies. That just takes a minute, and then when the animal is dead, he'll swallow it whole. They never, don't worry, I've never dropped them on anything. They never chew their food, just like the alligator. Now, Spider here can swallow prey that is much larger than his head. He can swallow something about the size of 2 softballs put together. That's amazing when you look at the size of his head. And the reason he can do that is because he can unhinge his jaw. It comes basically loose from his skull, attached by the skin and muscle. His skin can stretch far, and he can still breathe when his mouth is stuffed full because his windpipe sticks out like a straw so the air can keep on going in. And if he swallows a big meal, you can actually see a lump going down in the lump in his stomach as he digests. If a snake could actually make a pretty good pet for the right person, child or adult who's very interested in that sort of thing. I don't readily recommend boa constrictor or the larger pythons because they are so big. A better choice for most people would be a ball python or a corn snake. They can actually be a very interesting pet. Now you see the pretty camouflage on him, these spots and coloration. It looks like the shadows of him and the Now, every once in a while, there's an animal that's born or hatched that doesn't matter. Now this is a Burmese python, and his name is Lemon because I'm so clever with the names. The Burmese python is normally an olive green color with dark brown spots. Perfect camouflage for the rainforest. Well, this is a form of albino. If he were a true albino, he'd be all white with pink eyes. But this is a form of albino, so he does have some color. He's white with yellow spots and pretty golden colored eyes. Really pretty. Now you can imagine, this coloration wouldn't work out well for him out in the wild. He would show up in the rainforest like a big yellow neon sign saying, "Here I am!" So he couldn't sneak up on some prey. They could see him coming. And animals that wanted to meet him could see him and catch him and eat him. So a snake like this would probably not survive long in the wild. They are fairly common in zoos and some collections, though, where people could protect them and provide them with the food they need. Now, a couple interesting things about snakes is they have no ears, so they don't hear anything, they're just feeling vibrations, and they don't have any eyelids, so they have to sleep with their eyes open. But sometimes I have a hard enough time sleeping, I can't imagine that. All right. Now, let me tell you what the snake feels like. I wonder if we can get a few great teachers up here. That's what it's about. big questions. Yes. No. I know she asked me, what is it it's trying to leak? It's not trying to leak. That probably a lot of you know that. They stick their tongue out. It's a way of sensing their environment. He's curious what's going on. Is there anything here for me to eat? He sticks his tongue out, purples from the air in on his tongue. And he flicks that in, and he's got sort of nostrils on the inside of his mouth as well. He smells what's on his tongue. So it's kind of like smelling. It's not like he's bringing it right in. Have you ever seen a picture of a horse or a goat or something like They look pretty funny, but they're almost doing a similar thing. They're doing something they're trying to get the smell inside to smell it better. One more question. Yeah. Why is this tongue is red and the other one's blue? I don't really know. It may have something to do with it being an albino that makes the coloring of the tongue a little bit different. There are also different species. I don't really know if there's a reason why. All right, so this was another reptile. But still, it makes it long. It's long. Her name is a squirrel monkey. Squirrel monkeys are another animal from the rainforest of South and Central America. That is a part of the world very rich with plants and animal life, and extremely important. What happens in the rainforest isn't just important for the people and animals who live there, it's important for all of us around the world. Because what happens in the rainforest can even affect our climate in other parts of the world. And there are plants and animals that haven't even been discovered yet in the rainforest. And there could be medicines, there could be all kinds of knowledge to be gained from the rainforest. Not just to mention the lives of the plants and animals there. So it is important for us to prepare what we can to preserve the rainforest. That's what you can look up online. What things can I do? What bad things do I do that are affecting things in the rainforest? So it's kind of good to know that we're being good citizens of the world. All right, this is Chip. She's a squirrel monkey. One of the smaller types of monkeys. She looks like she's just a little baby. She's not good with getting pictures. She's always like, no paparazzi. But she looks like she's a little baby, but she is actually 23 years old. She's getting to be an old lady, but she's still in very good shape. Now I see so many of you going, oh, she's so cute, I want to touch her. Well, she is awfully cute, but don't let her fool you. Yeah. She is like a gorilla in a little monkey's body. She has always been great with me. We go places, we do things together. She always likes to travel. But she is not nice to anybody else, including my husband, including my kids. They cannot handle her without her quite that. So, if you had a monkey in your house, it would destroy things. It wouldn't be able to go anywhere, get anything. It would poop everywhere, and it would like to bite your friends. So, he's better off in the wild. And you know what? I kind of just go understand. Maybe it's just me, but why someone wants something and then clothes on it. It just seems weird to me. Get a cat. Can make my little. She's pretty little, so she's not going to take me down. But the other issue with monkeys is we are related. We are primates. We are primates. So we could have some of the same diseases. So she could give me some sort of disease. I could give it to her. So I have to be especially careful with her around people, especially during COVID. She catch it from them. She might be able to get cold or flu, whereas an alpaca or a snake would not get that from. So that's another concern. Yes, the way to
Why are they called squirrel?
What's that?
Why are they called squirrel?
What do you call squirrel? My only guess is because they move through the trees like a squirrel, or maybe the chattering sounds she makes. And she makes all different kinds of noises that mean different things. I don't speak squirrel monkey fluently, so another squirrel monkey might understand with some other things. But monkeys not only do they have a sound that means to watch out as a predator, but it would kind of give them the idea of what kind of predator. Is it something up like a hawk? Is it something down like a snake? So they not only communicate partially with their facial expression, but also with their sound. Yeah. She does not have a prehensile tail. She uses this tail to stick out to help her balance, but she cannot hang on with it. She'll even sort of lean against something with it, but a prehensile tail, a monkey like a Coochie has, they can actually wrap around and hang on with their hands. But she does have bumps on her hands, and she has bumps on her feet. So she can grasp what she wants very well. All right, little girl. All right, well, we're gonna stay with you. We have work here. Were wild animals, except for the alpaca. The alpaca and these goats are domesticated animals. Animals that have lived with people for thousands of years, usually. Usually, in a relationship, that's good for the animal and good for the people. And these animals tend to be pretty easy to train, very calm around people, because that's what they're bred for. Now these are both Nigerian horse goats. These are goats that originally come from Africa, and they're used for meat and milk. And people here mostly keep them as pets or to milk them. You can milk these goats. Normally these goats would be with their mom. Right now they're less than a month old. They would be with their mom, but in both cases there was an issue. Banshee over there was very weak, and she wasn't strong enough really to stand up and nurse. And Lviv here was one of triplets, and that was just too much for her mom, so we had to have these are two out of 14 babies that we had this year. Now, if you wanted to have an unusual kind of animal, something unusual and domesticated is usually better than wild. Something like a llama or a alpaca. Or goats, it makes all time for a pet. Now, they're goats now, they get a lot bigger than they are right now, but they are a small breed. Well, these are the last animals we have to show you. They're all very interesting. While we're reporting on them, you can look them up in books or on the internet and find out all kinds of information about these amazing animals. Thank you very much for having us here tonight.
Thank you.